Be honest with yourself for a second. Are you building a personal legacy, or are you just begging for likes? Welcome to this explainer. I want you to imagine me pulling up a chair, sitting right across from you, putting on my coaching hat, and looking you dead in the eye. Today, we're not talking about social media hacks or some weird algorithmic trick. We are diving deep into the absolute foundational mindset of content creation, pulling directly from the insights of self-esteem and business coach Sohail Ahmed. Look, if you're stepping into the arena to build a personal brand, you need a compass, a confidence compass. And today, I'm going to guide you through the exact emotional and strategic shifts you need to build a legacy that actually lasts. So let's get to work.
We've all seen the painful reality of content creation burnout, right? And honestly, it almost always stems from an exhausting desperation for instant validation. You know the feeling. You post something, you stare at the screen, and you just refresh, waiting for that little dopamine hit of a notification. This is exactly where emotional intelligence becomes absolutely vital. Because when we create from a place of desperation, our audience subconsciously feels it. It actually repels them. True leaders who are out there seeking constant validation quickly lose their true influence because they're operating out of fear instead of conviction. This explainer is all about stopping that exhausting cycle right now. We're shifting your focus from chasing fleeting trends to building a genuine, lasting, personal legacy.
Here's our roadmap for today's session. Number 1. Overcoming the validation trap. 2. Self-esteem as your brand's foundation. 3. The power of vulnerable storytelling. 4. Daily steps for consistent growth. And 5. Choosing impact over income.
Okay, let's jump right into section 1, overcoming the validation trap.
Every single creator out there, no matter how massive their audience is today, started with absolutely 0 followers. And they all face those same early insecurities. You spend hours writing a post or recording a video, you put it out into the universe and crickets, nothing. It is incredibly discouraging. But your resilience in this exact moment is what determines your future. There's a clear dividing line here between 2 types of creators. On one side, we've got the trend chaser. This is the creator living on a sugar rush. They're looking for quick cash, they mimic whatever someone else just went viral for, and when they hear those crickets, they inevitably crash and burn, because a sugar rush just doesn't last. On the other side, we have the legacy builder. This is someone planting a deep-rooted oak tree. They practice immense patience, they share their own authentic stories, and they actively build their self-esteem from the inside out. Sohail Ahmed hits the nail on the head with this guidance. Magic won't happen in a day or in a week. You're creating a brand for yourself, and creating a brand takes time. When a legacy builder's content flops, they don't panic. They learn, they adapt, and they just keep watering that oak tree. You have to choose right now. Do you want the sugar rush, or do you want the oak tree?
Moving on to section 2, self-esteem as your brand's foundation.
Emotional intelligence and a rock-solid sense of self-worth are the non-negotiable bedrock of a public personal brand, period. If your self-esteem fluctuates with your view count, you are building your house on sand. The second a storm rolls in, maybe a negative comment or an algorithm change, that house collapses. You have got to cultivate an internal anchor that holds steady regardless of external metrics. Having this solid foundation is what prevents what Sohail calls the nice leader trap. This is that destructive habit of constantly seeking to be liked by your audience rather than being respected. Think about it. When you need constant validation, when you water down your opinion so you don't offend anyone, or when you're just pandering for applause, you are actually destroying your own influence. People don't follow nice leaders. They follow authentic, convicted leaders. You have to be willing to be misunderstood by some in order to be deeply respected by the right people.
Sohail's advice is brutally honest here, and I love it. He says, stop calling it careful consideration. It's self-sabotage. Ouch, right? But let's confront that imposter syndrome head on. How many times have you held back from posting something because you were, carefully considering the wording, when in reality, you were just terrified of getting a low view count or being judged by your peers? That fear is a completely normal phase, it really is, but you must build the resilience to push through it. Hiding your authentic voice behind a mask of perfectionism is the ultimate self-sabotage. True authority comes from stepping into the arena, flaws and all, and speaking your truth even when your voice shakes.
Let's dive into section 3, the power of vulnerable storytelling. If you want to move past that fear of judgment, you've got to lean into genuine self-expression. Emotional vulnerability is what actually fosters deep, unshakable trust with your target audience. Now, this isn't about airing all your dirty laundry on the internet, but it is about pulling back the curtain on the messy middle of your journey. Sohail makes such a powerful point here. You can't build your career on other people's stories. This is a massive trap for early creators. We look at successful people, we curate their quotes,
We retell their anecdotes, kind of hoping their success just rubs off on us. But from an emotional intelligence perspective, people crave real human connection. They want to know about you. They want to know what you've done and how you overcame the obstacles in your own life. Sharing your personal struggles, those moments where you failed and had to painstakingly pick yourself back up, that is the true currency of audience connection. It shows you're a real, multifaceted human being, not just some automated content machine.
So let's actually pause for a second. Let's do a quick interactive self-reflection exercise right now. If we're going to use vulnerability as our superpower, we need an emotional anchor. What are your 3 core values? Really think about them. Is it honesty, grit, compassion? Take a mental note right this second. When you hit a difficult patch, when the algorithm completely changes on you, or when a post absolutely bombs, these 3 core values are what will keep you grounded. They dictate the authentic stories you tell and ultimately the community you attract. Staying true to these values during the hardest times, that is exactly what separates the legacy builders from the trend chasers.
All right, Section 4, Daily Steps for Consistent Growth.
Look, all the self-esteem in the world won't build an audience if you don't combine it with the practical, actionable daily grind. We've got to prevent burnout by setting up sustainable routines. So here are the clear steps derived straight from Sohail's philosophy. Step 1. Accept that magic takes time. Honestly, remind yourself of this every single morning before you open a single app. Step 2. Commit to daily consistency. Creating a brand takes unrelenting consistency. It's the unsexy work of showing up when you really don't feel like it, maintaining a sustainable pace that fuels you instead of draining you. And step 3, share your authentic challenges. Don't just post the highlight reel. Share the hurdles. These 3 steps repeated day after day are the exact mechanism that prevents burnout and transforms a total novice into a highly trusted industry voice.
And finally, Section 5, Choosing Impact over Income.
This right here is the ultimate reward of the creator journey. We have to talk about managing professional growth without obsessing over instant monetization. Yes, money is vital to survive, obviously, but making it the sole focus will, ironically, kill your brand before it even takes off. There's a profound insight to be found in the true return on investment of content creation. Sohail points out that he often does a lot of work where he might not be paid financially right out of the gate. Sure, maybe 10% is that immediate financial gain. But get this, a massive 40% is community respect, and an incredible 50% is audience love and affection. Sohail explains that the love, affection, and respect you get from your community, you literally cannot quantify that in terms of money. It requires a huge emotional shift to prioritize this kind of impact over instant rewards, but it is infinitely more valuable. When you prioritize the internal value of building authentic connections, the income eventually follows as a totally natural byproduct of the incredible trust you've established.
Let's quickly recap the vital takeaways from this little mentorship session. First, internalize that magic won't happen in a day. Patience is hands down your greatest asset. Second, always prioritize respect and long-term impact over quick cash. Don't just be money-minded every single time. Third, remember that your vulnerability and your own unique stories are exactly what build lasting trust with your audience. And finally, none of this works without your foundation, self-esteem. You absolutely must build your internal confidence and emotional intelligence before you can project true authority outward.
If this explainer resonated with you today, if you are truly ready to stop begging for likes and start building a real legacy, I need you to take action right now. Subscribe to the Confidence Compass newsletter to keep this powerful momentum going. You also absolutely need to follow Sohail Ahmed across all platforms at the handle @MentorSohail. His insights on emotional intelligence and brand building are literally life transformational. And hey, if you're an organization looking for this level of deep, mindset-shifting impact, invite Sohail Ahmed to speak at your next event. He's a phenomenal coach who truly walks the talk, and his personal journey is just an incredible source of inspiration. I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought. What personal challenge will you share with your audience today? Not tomorrow, not next week after some careful consideration. Today. Stop mimicking others. Step into your own story. Rely on your confidence compass and start building your legacy. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Now get out there and create something real.